Welcome back, and we're turning our attention now to cricket on the SportsMax Zone. The Sawai Mansingh Stadium in Jaipur hosted match 47 of the Indian Premier League earlier on Monday between the struggling home team, Rajasthan Royals, and the Gujarat Titans. The Royals won the toss and sent the visitors to bat. Captain Shubman Gill led the charge, hitting 5 fours and 4 sixes on his way to 84 of 50 deliveries. He was well supported by Joss Butler, who notched an unbeaten 50 as the Titans posted 209 for 4 off their allotted 20 overs. Off-spinner Mahesh Tikshana with 2 for 35 was a pick of the Royals bowlers. Now, in reply, the 14-year-old Vaibhav Suryavanshi completely stole the show, scoring a 35-ball 100, the second fastest IPL 100 in history, only behind the West Indian Chris Gayle. His knock of 101 included 7 fours and 11 sixes, as he became the youngest player to score a century in men's T20s. He got support from Yashasvi Jaiswal, who contributed an unbeaten 70, as the Rajasthan Royals reached 212 for 2 to win with 25 deliveries to spare. Here now are the captains. First, Gujarat Titans, Shubman Gill, then the Royals, Rian Parag.
They took the game away from us in the power play, and credit to them for that. I think there were a couple of things that we could have done better, but it's very easy to sit out and say those things. Some chances came early our way, I couldn't grab those, but in hindsight, I think there are some areas that we need to work on as a group.
We changed it a bit since last game. We just thought, how can we finish this a little earlier? Can we show real intent in the middle overs? Whenever someone's going in, can we just back ourselves to play our shots? We've practiced a lot. We tried to implement it today, and it came off.
Now, with the win, the Royals have climbed to 8th place on 6 points, while the Titans slipped 1 spot to 3rd, still on 12 points, same as the Mumbai Indians in 2nd and the Delhi Capitals in 4th. So, a memorable day of IPL cricket today, because Suryavanshi, only 14 years old, grabbed the spotlight in a way that we have never seen before.
Yeah, and I have to admit, team, that I looked at the Gujarat Titans batting first, right? I was getting ready for this show. We had a lot of meetings today, but I watched that, and then I jumped in to do something, and in my mind, there was no way that Rajasthan Royals was going to get the better of the Gujarat Titans, right? That's what I left the match thinking. Yeah. And then, of course, this 14-year-old shows up and he steals the show. He does it in fine style. And, of course, he takes away the game from the Gujarat Titans. And I'm speaking about, the quality that I saw from Shubman Gill and then Sai Sudarshan. They've been very consistent throughout the competition. That is probably why they're 3rd on the table right now. But this youngster lands, top quality from him. And I think, again, it goes back to the major point, the production of players, youngsters, when it comes to India and how they treat their cricket. Because now, this player, everybody's going to keep their eyes on. He's a talent. He's one for the future. And I mean, at 14 years old, to be taking part in the Indian Premier League and lighting up, those shots against quality bowlers, it's off the charts.
Yeah, well, it's almost no surprise. There was a massive bidding war for him last season, and he was just 13 years old. And for there to be a bidding war for a 13-year-old, then there has to be something special about him. And I think we saw a lot of what was special about him today. It's interesting, when you look at the numbers, Lance Admiral, I thoroughly enjoyed the innings, by the way. It had a lack of maturity, and I mean that in the most positive way possible. So when you look at the numbers, right, his control, take for example Shubman Gill, the control of his innings, 87%, in comparison to the youngster whose control was 53%. His most productive shot, viewers, was the slug shot. Now, if the slug shot is your most productive shot, it is telling you a lot about the type of innings that he produced. High risk. Yes. There was a lot of class in it. Yes. There was a lot of brutality in it, but there was some amount of luck in the knock as well. But that is exactly what you would expect from a 14-year-old. He goes out there and he's playing with absolutely no pressure. He is free, he is letting go. He is seeing Rashid Khan and he's thinking, who are you again? And he's going after him and he's having success doing it. And he's clearing the ropes at will, 11 sixes and 7 fours. It really was an entertaining innings to watch, and significant as well for the Rajasthan Royals because they'd lost 5 in a row.
Yes.
They'd had a few tough losses, chasing as well. So they needed someone to stand up today, and he did more than stand up. They won with 25 deliveries to spare. It was really a joy to watch, but I can't get over the fact that he's 14 years old. Lance and Mariah, we're talking about a 14-year-old in what is considered to be the best T20 league in the world, scoring 101 of 38 deliveries, his century coming up off 35 deliveries. It really was a delight to watch.
Yeah, but you know what that tells us, though? It speaks to the factory that India is at the moment in producing world-class cricketers, because we've been saying this for years on the show, that the culture for cricket in India is so vibrant that they will continue to produce these kind of quality players. And as Ricardo started out by saying, there's a part of this story that really isn't that surprising if you consider how seriously the Indians take cricket.
Yeah.
And we know that there are 9-10-year-olds in India right now that are aspiring to be Virat Kohlis and Rohit Sharmas and Jasprit Bumrahs and so on. So this is what you're going to get from a 14-year-old who is serious about what he's doing.
Yeah, and Ricardo, you said something just now, and my face lit up, right? Because you said the 14-year-old hitting the shots like, who is Rashid Khan and all of that. And, you know, it brought me back to a discussion that I tend to have a lot with cricketers. Like, you know, when they're under pressure, sometimes it's easier to just remember why you started the game, enjoy what you're doing. And from the shots and the look on this youngster's face, he was just having fun playing a game that he knows and he loves. And guess what? You said a bit of luck. I think it just worked out in his favor.
Yeah, very much the case. You know what's going to be interesting going forward now is how he deals with the pressure that is associated with this performance. Because the truth is, the world is now watching. For those who were not taking notice when he was bought as a 13-year-old, will be taking notice now after this knock. And how does he deal with those expectations? Is he able to go out there and play as free-flowing as he did today? Or will the fact that everyone is now expecting him to do well impact his performances going forward? And I'm watching closely to see how he will deal with that. The truth is, Lance and Mariah, it's difficult for even senior individuals, 21, 22, 28, when you're just coming onto the scene and you have announced yourself in such a significant way, to not feel the pressure when you have that follow-up innings or that follow-up performance. Because even in other sports, I think it's similar as well, much less a 14-year-old that probably, well, I want to say doesn't have the type of international experience and exposure that will allow him to comfortably deal with a situation like this. And I think if he's able to do it, then you know that you have someone who is really, really special, maybe of the ilk of a Sachin Tendulkar, maybe not in the same formats, but definitely in terms of production in at least one format of the game, the T20 format.
Yeah, the innings today reminded me a little bit of the Aussie opener, Sam Constance. It was a different format. It was Test cricket, but he debuted as a 19-year-old last December against India and just played shots, which is what the young man did today. He just played shots. And there is some merit to the argument that when you're young and you're new and there's not much pressure on you because you're just coming into a scenario that you can express yourself. You know, I remember Dylan Carter at the Olympic Games for TNT did badly in Paris, and he was disappointed that he wasn't able to come up to his best performances. And his post-Olympic comment was that, in a manner of speaking, he was better off when he went to his first Olympics because there wasn't that pressure on him. He was into a new atmosphere. He knew he had talent, and he just expressed himself. But for his third Olympics now, there's pressure on him. He's carrying the weight of expectations from the fans in Trinidad and Tobago, and it was just difficult. It
Yeah.
was just difficult. So sometimes there is merit to being young and new.
Yeah.
No, you're right, because it comes with less pressure,
right.
especially when you are
But then when you
in
score
a
a
team.
century.
Yeah, when you score a century, especially in this manner, it changes the expectations.
Like right
change.
away.
I'll also say quickly, because Lance, you referenced Constas, a 19-year-old, and what he did in Test cricket for Australia against India. Obviously, we've seen the youngest century maker in men's T20 cricket. The next youngest in the IPL is 19 years old. That's a 5-year difference. And I think it gives you an idea of the significance of this knock.
Yes. A 14-year-old versus an adult, because 18, you're considered an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, our producer says we're up on a break. We have to remind them that the IPL
Yeah.
continues on Tuesday with the Delhi Capitals taking on Kolkata Knight Riders, and that will be in Delhi.